Welcome, everyone. By order of Trump, burning food aid enough for 1.5 million children. At a time when our people in the Gaza Strip are suffering from severe shortages of food due to the blockade imposed by the occupying entity, which has been preventing the entry of aid since last March, children in Gaza are facing extremely harsh conditions. According to estimates, around 71 children have already lost their lives due to hunger, while more than 90,000 others are suffering from malnutrition, based on reports from international organizations and the Palestinian Red Crescent. In the middle of this crisis, the American magazine The Atlantic revealed a shocking surprise. The U.S. authorities, under Trump's directive, are preparing to burn about 500 tons of food aid stored in a warehouse in Dubai. These supplies were originally meant for children suffering from malnutrition in war-torn areas, disaster zones, or regions facing food shortages. According to the report, which has caused a major stir in the U.S. in recent hours, this aid, which is valued at around $800,000, will be destroyed at an additional cost of $130,000, all paid from American taxpayers' money. Previous administrations were keen on maintaining foreign aid programs, but Trump had a completely different view. He blocked the shipment of these supplies for months, which led to their expiration, while also disrupting the work of USAID as part of his broader effort to dismantle foreign aid programs. The magazine and other U.S. media outlets provided extensive details about Trump's insistence on halting such aid. Now, let's look at the reaction inside the United States, the burning of this aid and its connection to a law recently passed by Congress allocating $9 billion, and we'll also examine the situation in Gaza and the estimates regarding food aid required for the Strip. On Wednesday, July 16, the food aid officially expired. Reports confirmed that the quantities could have fed about 500,000 children for nearly a week. But as mentioned, Trump had a completely different approach, aiming to minimize foreign aid to its lowest levels. Over the past months, his administration pushed for a bill to reduce foreign aid in order to save $9 million from the budget, which was passed in the House of Representatives last Friday with a narrow majority of 216 votes against 213. The cuts will target programs such as global health, refugee assistance, and USAID, the very agency responsible for delivering food aid to crisis areas. This means that Trump's decision to block the distribution of food aid is not just a temporary measure, but is being entrenched into law, marking an unprecedented reduction in U.S. humanitarian assistance. So what was the American public's reaction? In fact, there was widespread anger. The House Appropriations Committee also revealed that around 60,000 tons of additional food aid stored in warehouses around the world are at risk of expiring because of delays in shipment. U.S. Deputy Secretary of State Michael Regas told the Foreign Relations Committee that he had no explanation as to why these supplies were not distributed before expiring, facing a wave of criticism from Congress members who accused the government of wasting aid. Lawmakers demanded a full inventory of food supplies and immediate distribution before further spoilage. International organizations also described the incident as a tragedy. Action Against Hunger, a British NGO, called it a humanitarian catastrophe, especially at a time when the world is witnessing record levels of hunger. As for Gaza, the situation is dire. The World Health Organization reported that the entire population of Gaza, over 2 million people, are facing increasing levels of severe hunger, with about 500,000 already living in catastrophic conditions. Urgent entry of food aid is critical. Meanwhile, the U.S.-based Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, which started providing aid in May, has been criticized for covering only a very small percentage of the population. Worse still, Palestinians waiting near its distribution points have been under fire, leading to over 1,000 martyrs killed while waiting for food. The United Nations and the World Food Program announced their readiness to fully return to Gaza to distribute food, but this depends on a ceasefire and safe access through border crossings. The WFP stated that if a ceasefire was reached soon, it could deliver 150 to 200 trucks daily, equivalent to 30 to 40 tons per month, which could feed over 1 million people monthly. Currently, about 171,000 tons of food supplies are in storage, ready to be sent immediately once crossings are open and hostilities stop. The European Union has also pressed Israel and signed an agreement with the UN to facilitate humanitarian deliveries, but real progress has yet to be seen. Ultimately, the burning of U.S. food aid meant for children has created a global uproar, not only because 500 tons of food were destroyed, but also because of the policies that led to this outcome. Inside the U.S., members of Congress strongly condemned the decision, calling it a disgrace that food is burned while children die of hunger in Gaza and elsewhere. Human Rights Watch and Oxfam declared that the incident reflects a total lack of humanitarian strategy by the U.S. administration.
Meanwhile, in Gaza, the situation remains catastrophic. More than 90% of the population struggles to obtain minimum food needs, and about 500,000 people are at immediate risk of famine, especially in the north, where almost no aid reaches. Aid organizations like UNRWA, the WFP, and the Doctors Without Borders have suspended their operations due to bombardments and unsafe conditions. With every passing minute, the threat of famine grows. We can only hope that the coming hours bring a breakthrough with a ceasefire agreement, allowing food supplies to finally reach our people in Gaza. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.